All right, what is up, everyone? I do not want my catchphrase to be "We are back with another video," but we are back with another video. So let's get into it. This one is shoulder swapping. Let's start here. Shooter core. We're going to go into input and input actions. I have renamed this a dozen times, so naming conventions super important. I suck at it. But it's IA shoulder swap. Go ahead and create this. You know how to create it. You can drag it, everyone, copy it, whatever. Then you got to add it into the input data shooter game, right? So just like on the last ones, you're going to put that in here. Once we have those done, let's jump into the C++ code. This one does take a bit of C++ code. I've got it all on my GitHub. You can obviously copy all of that. It's not necessarily compatible with the leaning. I will do that in the next video, show you how to make all of the different camera stuff. If you know how to program it, you can do it, but really let's get into the C++ code. The first file that we're going to mess with, it's the LyraPawnData. And that one is under source Lyra game character pawn data, so that's going to be over here. Really, the only thing that we're doing is we're adding, I think, similar to the default camera mode, we're adding another camera mode, right? We're going to call this left camera mode. You can copy this right here, and then you can drop it in right here. So I will show you why we're using this H file, why we're doing it this way later when we go back into the editor. But this is the first thing that you're going to do. Once you get that, go ahead and open up the CPP file for the Lyra Pawn data, which is over here. So you're going to open that, and then you're just, is it initializing it? Or basically setting it to the null pointer. Same thing as the default camera. You just copy that, and then you're good to go with those two files. So the next file is this LyraCharacter.h file. So I know we've done a ton of work in the Lyra character, just in a bunch of previous videos. One more thing that we're going to do, it is this, it's a simple bool variable, right? So, but we're going to edit it anywhere, and it is this is left camera. I think I had another one in here that we're going to get into. I think the lean was from obviously the lean video, but I might have this other variable that's going to be part of the camera, but that will be in the next video. The next thing that we're going to do is going to be this set bool value. And basically we're just going to create this, it's a setter and getter, and I'll show you how we're going to use that, where we're going to use that. But basically you're setting the camera and getting it, and it's a void set left camera mode, and it's a bool use left, and then we're going to do another bool get. So in, sorry, in the LyraCharacter.cpp file, I believe I just threw everything down to the bottom, and these are your getters and setters, right? Just it's standard set and get and set, whatever. Getters and setters, setters and getters. I forget what it is, but anyways, basically you're using the bool to get it if it is, and you're just going to return it. Pretty simple set and get and set, whatever. You know what it is. But that's all we're going to do in the Lyra character. So not too much there. The next one is going to be the Lyra hero component. You're going to come down to this Lyra hero component, determine camera mode. We've messed with this before, kind of in that previous one. We've got secondary ability camera mode. This section, I think I had this in there when I did the video. Told you guys just to ignore it, and it's because we're coming back to it now. Okay, so this is the function that we are playing with, right? So right here, it's basically just a cast that we're doing, kind of in the blueprints if you're familiar with that. So then this next line right here is if we've got a valid cast, then we're going to check to see this get left camera mode. This next line here is going to attempt to find this pawn. And then here we are getting the pawn data. And then from there, we're going to return this left camera mode. And that is the camera mode that we had in the Lyra pawn data. And I will show you that in the blueprints. So that is this function here. And that again is in the determine camera mode. The next file is in the Lyra equipment definitions. So in the Lyra equipment definition, what we're going to do is we've got this attach socket, and then we've got attach transform. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to copy it, and I have it, normally I put all my stuff kind of at the bottom in certain spots. In the H file, again, think I showed you in the pawn data why we have certain things where they are. Again, I'm going to show you why I have this under the attach socket where, it's normally, I always put stuff in the wrong spot at the bottom, but, and then this transform. I've got these, I specifically set them where they are, and it's to show you later. It just keeps everything cleaner once you actually get back into the blueprints. So once you have this file done, then you're going to go into the equipment instance and then the CPP. This is where we're going to do a little bit. One, we do have to include, right? So these are your includes. If you maximize them, we do have to include this LyraCharacter.h. We've got this bool over here. I think I showed you this bool right here. We have to call that. And so in order to access that, we do have to include that in the header file. So once we include this, then we can call stuff that is in this file. So down here, I've got a little bit of code that I changed, and it is this section right here. I know it seems like a lot. It's not that complicated. Normally, I think you've got these two lines are right here, right? And then you have the add new actor. All I've done is, again, so this is kind of the casting, or I think it's what, like get owning pawn, I think in the blueprints is what the equivalent would be. And then we're casting to the Lyra character because we need to access the files in here, right? And then, or we need to access the specific file, I forget which one that is, but anyways. So then we're gonna check. So if this left camera is checked, that's where we're going to return this left attach transform, and we're going to set the left attachment socket. Else, we are going to, this is the standard, this is the default, right? This is what the code looks like normally, and same thing with this attached socket. So those are in the equipment definition. So this is the default, we've got the left attached socket and the left transform. That's what we are getting here. So if the left is checked, then we are using the left here and here. And if it's not, it's here and here. If it's a bad cast, we're going to do the default, right? And then if this is a bad, is this from the get? Where is it right here, right? So if and if, we've got the defaults, and I mean, technically you don't have to have these, but I think it's just better programming if you do. For any of the statements you want, if, else, right? So you have something to fall back on. Once we have all that, that should be everything in the CPP that we're doing. So from there, getting back into the editor, now is where we can make the actual, it's the camera. Let me go back in here. So here's where we can actually make the gameplay ability. So we're going to go into the shooter core. It's going to be under input, abilities, and I have GA shoulder swap. So we'll go ahead, and I think I literally I did the ADS, drag and copy here. One of the things though that we do have to do once we do that, before we get into this, because you can see we've got a gameplay tag. In order to add that, one of the things that we're going to have to do is, let me just go back out of here. We're going to have to go into the gameplay effects. So one of the things that we have to have is this gameplay effect left shoulder. Let me open that one up for you. So this is going to be infinite. The duration policy, you can just copy one of the other gameplay effects, or I don't know what the, right there, so gameplay effect. I don't need one because I've got this one here, but make sure it's infinite. The only other thing that I did, I think all of this stuff is default. It's event movement left ADS. I mentioned at the beginning of the video, naming conventions suck, especially the tags. If you mess up a tag name, it will haunt you. So take the time and make sure you name your tags properly, just because I do not feel like going back. You got to go into writer and edit all. It's just a pain, so I've left it. I understand. Originally, it was going to be an ADS, similar to like Ghost Recon Breakpoint. But then I was talking to a buddy of mine who's left-handed, and I was like, how cool would it be to make a left-handed character? I was like, let's make it better than Ghost Recon Breakpoint. So that's where it ended up just being shoulder swap, right? So, but once you have that, that's it. So that's the only thing that you're going to do is make sure this is infinite, and then it's an added tag left movement ADS. So once you have that, you can close out of that, and then we're going to go to the shoulder swap. On here, we're going to activate the ability. You can ignore this. I'm going to come back to this. This is, notice gameplay effect change camera. I'm going to make sure in the next video all of the different camera modes work together. I know we've created some of our own. We also have to make some new camera modes for this video. So it does get, the logic on it is a little difficult to follow sometimes. You kind of bounce around, your character leans left, camera goes right, and it's all sorts of messed up. But so here we're going to get the Lyra character from the actor info. This is that left camera bool that we have off the Lyra character. So from here, if it is true, so basically what we're doing is if it's set, we're going to unset it, right? So that's why on, I don't think I maybe showed you the mappings, but you guys know how to do the mappings, right? I don't need to show you the mappings. You literally just watch the other video for mappings. I think they're right here. I'm going to show you anyways. Sorry. I think I tagged mine to O just because O was not in use, but you can do it wherever. So anyways, if it's set, we're going to unset it. If it's not set, we're going to set it, right? So we're just bouncing back and forth between the two. I do have an offset, so it's not triggering a million times, right? So this 0.3 delay, that just gives you time to pull your finger off the O button. But from here, I have this, if I'm casting to a weapon, I guess technically I could maybe drag a pin, drop it here, and end the ability after I add the tag. No, I guess I don't need to because that's what we're doing right here, right? So we're going to end it. You still are swapping. You're just not doing, you're going to change your stance, right? So let me show you that real quick, actually. So let me start the video. I'll go ahead, change. I can unequip, change back. No, that didn't work, actually. Let's go ahead and edit that out. Because that's bad. This is it. So what I'm going to do is grab this. And we will put this here. Now I will explain to you what I am doing in just a second. So let's see if that worked. Let's put away our gun. Yeah, okay. So I just fixed it for you guys. Well, I fixed it for me. But so basically what we're doing here is this gameplay tag, right? So that was that gameplay effect that we just made. It's this shoulder. So let me go back up here. So if it's the left camera, because this is for the camera, right? So this bool is for the camera. The tag is for the posture. So I mean, I guess you could play with it any way you want if you want just switching the cameras. In fact, again, when I do the next video, I will probably pull this out of this gameplay effect and put it in a gameplay ability for that separately. But while I have this, just so that it was fixed, you can kind of see, what we're going to do is if this is not added, we're going to add this gameplay effect, okay? And then we're going to check to see if we have a weapon. If we do not, we can end the ability, right? If we do have a weapon equipped, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to swap the weapon. So this is swapping to the left, right? So let me bring this over here because I have to have straight lines. I have to have stuff set up in blueprints right, or else I'd freak out. Sometimes not. I don't know. Uh, Anyways, so what we're going to do is we're going to detach this weapon, right? And then once we've detached it, we keep everything relative. We're going to attach it only to weapon L. So I will show you in the skeleton, we've kind of set up some other things. This is where we're getting the Lyra character info. We're going to get the mesh, and that's where we're attaching it. Again, keep relative. I don't know if you need to weld the bodies. I had it on there. And then we're going to set the rotation. So this 180, 0, negative 90, this is the rotation that you're going to have in the left hand, okay? So let me go back into here. So this is, if it's not set, setting it to be left, right? If it is set, we're going to unset it. So we're going to remove this gameplay tag, right? We're going to get the weapon. If we don't have a weapon, we end the ability. If we do have a weapon, let me move this stuff back because, again, bugging me. But anyways, so we're going to detach it. We are going to reattach it, right? Same thing, only now it's weapon underscore R. Now we're setting the rotation, and it's negative 90 in the Z. I will show you where I got all of that, and then we're going to go back to the output. From these two, we're going to run that slight delay to keep us from bouncing, back and forth a ton of times as before you pull your finger off the button that makes you change, and then we're ending the ability. That is the gameplay ability. Once we have that, let me go back to this. Again, Alt-Shift-R. We add this to. Oh, did I do it on the wrong one? Yeah, I did it on the gameplay effect. Sorry. But this gameplay shoulder, we have to add it to this ability set shooter hero. As you can see, again, we've done this a million times. Change camera. See, I'm working on that one. I'll show that one later. But it is this input tag weapon shoulder swap, right? So that is what we're doing with the gameplay shoulder swap. Once we have that done, let me go ahead and save this. And browse to this one. We do have to play a little bit with the ADS, right? I will show you, I haven't gotten to the cameras yet. Again, ignore that one. I think I added this in a previous video, but this just makes sure you can't aim if you don't have a weapon, right? If you unequip a weapon, you can still aim. This is just a quick check to make sure that you can't. I think I've done that in a different video, but if you haven't seen that video, that's just what that does. My aim down sights probably looks a little bit different than most people's. Let me try and think if there's anything that we need to do. So right here, so this is that again, same as in here. We're checking to see if we've got this, is it left ADS? Yeah, so same gameplay tag. If we do, we're going to set the camera mode. Is this the ability camera mode? Secondary? I don't know if I've got the secondaries in here. No, but this is it. So we've got, this is the normal, this is the normal third-person camera mode. This is the left. So let me go to this one. I will show you. So these are the leans that we have, right? But this is the normal third-person aim down sights, and this is the aim down sights left. So exact same. You just drag, copy, but then you need the third-person offset curve. I'll show you what that one is, and then the left. So I think, what is it, the Y. So Y is negative 60, Y is 60. That's the only change that I've made, but that's going to give you the back and forth in the camera modes. The other one that you need to do, and I'll show you where that one is, but that's, and then from there you go back to your normal ADS, right? Everything else should be the same. Yep, everything else should be the same. So it's just we're adding this section right here is all that we've added on this one. Let's close out of these. This one is all done. I did collapse these into macros, and I will show you why a little bit later. Things like changing your magazine, equipping, unequipping, different abilities. If you start adding your own abilities, you're going to have to start kind of figuring that stuff out yourself, just because each one's a little bit different, right? So the reloading, the animation is going to play on a certain shoulder or a certain side of the gun, and if you're doing it with your left hand, if you are running the mirror, you'll then do it with your right hand and it might not work, or vice versa. If you're doing it with the left, it'll change to the right and it won't work. So this is this gameplay ability reload. So I've done a little bit of work in here. I will show you what I've done with this one, but on here we're checking, right? If it is, we are, no, if we do have it, I've got this, it's kind of a local variable, but I'm setting this and I'm saving it, right? So I can check it later. From here, I'm going to cast to the weapon. I'm going to swap it back to the right, right? Because it's in the left. If this is true, it's in the left. I'm going to swap it back to the right. Over here, I am removing this gameplay tag, okay? Because this is what's going to make the character animation swap back over to the, between the left and the right foot forward stance. So this has to do with that. So I'm removing that. This is the exact same. This is why I put it as a macro, is I'm calling it in here. Notice if you have the other one set up where I pulled this out, so that way we can, that was just that little quick fix that I did while we were editing the video. Make sure that you add this back here. So you may have to add it here if it's not in the macro for you. If it doesn't have this, then we can skip all of this and we're just going to run it as normal. This, I think, is where the normal weapon reload starts. This gets a little complicated, but I'm going to get into that. So off of here, we're going to run just a little bit of delay. I forget why there was something funky, but I figured half a second gave us enough time to run the animation and look good. So again, that bool that we set that is left, I'm checking. If it's true, we're going to unset it, but then we're going to swap back to the left. So again, make sure you apply that gameplay effect, and then we've copied that macro right here. And then we're going to end the ability. If this is false, then we're going to skip this and just end the ability. The other thing that we're going to do is off of here. I guess I could technically don't need all of this. No, maybe I do, because I have this end ability locally. I was playing with this. I don't know if I noticed a difference. Maybe it's just because I wasn't running a dedicated server or anything. But yeah, so this pin on completed ends locally, which is why I have essentially the same code here and here. It's just in a different spot because these, right, these can go back up into here. But this ends the ability, this ends the ability locally. So I wanted to keep that. So that is weapon reload. So again, I was playing with the grenades, right? I don't know where the grenades are. I'm not going to go into them. But the grenades were also one that gave me a little bit of an issue. They work fine with how we have it set up now. And I'll get into the animation layers to show you that. But I did need to play with the weapon reload. Next thing that we are going to do is under the shooter core, we're going to go to weapons. Let's do the pistol. This weapon ID. This is what we've changed. Remember in the equipment definition, right? So we have this attached socket, attached left socket, attached transform, left attached transform. That is because under here, now we have attached socket, attached left socket, attach transform left. So this attach transform, that's where I was getting for the abilities, where I got that. And this, I just think I came from playing, to be honest. The gun was in all sorts of weird directions. I just took a little bit to find it, but this gets the guns in the right direction on that left attach transform. When you first do the hot reload, whatever that button is, right? So you're gonna have to do that after you change your code. Make sure you do that again. If I didn't say so, you're not gonna get this to pop up. But once you do that, this will pop up, and that's where you'll have these. So go ahead and set those. You're gonna have to do that for each one of the weapons. So anytime you add a new weapon, all right, let me go into the rifle. Rifle, same thing. You're gonna have to do the, for whatever reason, these like to get all out of whack. Anyways, but shotgun, grenade launchers, rocket launchers, whatever they are, whatever those transforms are, right? So if this transform is not -90, this is probably not going to be 180 -90. This might be something else. You'll have to play with it on your own. So the last thing before we get into the animations is right here. So we're going to have to go into default gameplay experience. We'll navigate to that. Go ahead and open this one up. And it is right here, your default pawn data. So this hero data shooter game. Let's go ahead and navigate to that. See this Lyra pawn data? That is the Lyra pawn data that we were messing with. Right here and right here. The reason for that is you have this default camera mode, and now we have the left camera mode. Just like we did with the aim down sights, you can just grab this, copy it. Third person, I've got a whole bunch of these camera modes anymore at this point. Right here, so this left, and we can go ahead and open these up. Content browser 3, drag that over for you. Show you the left. Virtually the same, only thing difference, this curve right here. And I'll show you the curve. I just took the third person offset curve. Offset curve left. Everything should be the same. It's just this one. So this -60, 60, -60. I didn't mess with the X or the Y. You can, whatever you like, whatever works best if you want to do your left-right cameras, but that should be it. So that's going to be everything before we get into the animations. Let's back up into the animations. So in order to get that, I mean, you could spend a ton of time making your own animations left and right. Unreal has this cool little feature. It's called a mirror data table. So you just come under here, animations, mirror data table, and then it is SK mannequin. So go ahead and select that. Name it whatever you want. I name mine kind of after my game. But if you choose the right mannequin, you're going to get all of these. So this is it. This should rename everything. But the next thing that we're going to do is go into meshes and mannequin. Okay, so for here, anytime you have left or a right, so I don't know if I made my left or right. I don't know if I made these. I don't know if the default mannequin comes with those. But you just do add virtual bone. Whatever they have on the left, you're going to have to duplicate on the right. So just try and make it as uniform as possible. So that way the data table is able to do its thing. So into the base. Notice I have this gameplay tag. Again, I really like these gameplay tags. They're pretty cool. But I added this one is left. You have to go under class defaults, and it is gameplay tags with properties. So previous video, we've got the lean left, lean right, left ADS. Again, I know naming conventions, I just have it is left because it's no longer just for aiming down sights. But that's it. That's all you have to do under the base. A majority of the work is going to be in here, right? So find results. You just do is left. Whatever you've named this as, that's what you're going to want to find. Oh, well, that's what I did. That's how I found it, just to show you all of the spots that I've done. So it's in quite a few, as you can see, because there's a lot that you have. It's actually not that bad. Well, it is that bad. I'm not gonna lie. So the first thing is going to be in this full body skeletal controls, and that is under here. So that's the very first thing. What I've done is it's right off this component to local. So in the last video, this is where we have the aiming ability, which we still have. We can still do that. But then I just snuck this mirror data table, right? Mirror with data table. And then this is a property access. And from here, you just do game say thread is left. Plug that in, and if it is, you mirror. But there's going to be a lot of spots. So startup animation. Let's take a look at this one. This is where it gets a bit messy, not gonna lie. So anytime you have, that was from a previous video, pretty much anytime you have any sort of movement, what you're gonna have to do is invert your left and your right. So you can just, I'm trying to think, I think this is what you were selecting, or this one off of here. I had to drag those out, and then I copied those so I can grab this. And then if this is true, you swap your left and your right. Again, here the ADS starts. This is what ADS start. No, this is your jog start. This is your ADS start. If it's true, you're inverting your left and your right. Over here, this is your crouch start. If it's true, you invert your left and your right. So the next one is going to be update cycle animations. And again, so off of the crouch, if it's true for the walk cardinals, left and the right. You just see anytime it's left and invert left and right. So let me go to set up stop animations. Again, same thing. Just grab that, split it, invert your left and your right. I'm just going to show you kind of all the different stuff here so you can see. And you literally just copy it. And then your forward goes into your forward, backwards into backwards, but then left into right. It has a tendency to add this funny thing if, I'm sorry, I have to get rid of this, little stars. Okay, so the next one is going to be get desired pivot sequence. And again, oh, I know, it's a lot, bear with me. Forward, backward, invert the left and the right, ADS pivot, and jog pivot. Turn in place. No, again. So right here, I actually kind of show you, I left these here. So you can see these are what the original ones were. And then I'm just dragging and separating. And then if it's true, we're grabbing the right. If it's false, we're grabbing the left, right? Because that's for the left. And then for the right, we're grabbing, I know it gets, the logic is a bit mind numbing where it's just you're constantly flipping the left and the right and the right and the left. But once you start doing it, it kind of flies. It's not too hard. There is one update rotation data in the mannequin base that we have to fix. So sorry about that. But what we're going to do is we're going to check this gameplay tag is left. We're going to multiply this information by -1 if this is true, or 1 if it's not. And then this is the additive linear angle. So this is in the update rotation data. And that is, you can just do it right here. Update rotation data. That's going to be in this function right here. So you do have to change that in the base. So that should be it. That should be everything on your animations. I don't know if this is necessary. So this is a 1 normally, right? So if we're aiming down the sights, I set it at 1. If we're not, if it's left, it's 0, and if it's not left, so this would be normal, right? So this is not aiming down the sights, not left, it's going to be a 1, which is what it was, right? So like default value 1. I don't know why I added this. Maybe this is necessary, maybe it's not. I don't remember. But I still have it in there. So that is everything. That is it. That is going to get you your left-handed character, if you will, or just leaning and swapping shoulders and clearing buildings to the left, right? So notice this is all messed up still. I will fix that in the next video, but at least you have swapping shoulders to, now we can lean. We cannot swap shoulders here. That's all messed up, but yeah. So there you go. Sprint still works. And then that's all good. So again, that time, like, subscribe, come back for more videos, or not if you think I suck and I'm annoying. But hopefully you do not, and you guys will be back. So I will see you guys next time.